Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. On April 23rd, we have a full moon in Scorpio, which is happening exactly at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust it to your time zone, at 4 degrees and 18 minutes in the sign of Scorpio. And this will be an intensive full moon because the ruler of the full moon, Pluto, is squaring this aspect. At the same time, we will just come out of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, but not completely, not fully, because that exact conjunction is happening on April 20. And 3 days later, we are still feeling the effects of the shocking events that could have happened in everybody's lives, including each of us. And so this full moon, which I'm not surprised that it's so intense, is highlighting things that we need to transform, fears that we need to deal with and face to be able to make the right transformation and gain our power back in different topics and areas of our lives where this is happening into. So I will start with the 12 zodiac signs. Make sure to listen to your rising, sun, and moon signs, and we will go from there. Hello dear Aries, Aries suns, moons and risings. Welcome to my channel again. We have a full moon in Scorpio on April 23rd at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust that to your time zone. But it's going to be at 6 degrees and 4 minutes in the sign of Scorpio. And for you Aries, is happening in your 8th house of shared resources, investments, shared finances, psychology, mental health, other people's money, alimony, child support, debt, self-sabotaging patterns, sex, transformation, and joint ventures. So for a lot of you Aries, you are going to have some type of completion when it comes to all of these topics, or it can be that you are going to focus a lot on them. There is something that happens here to where your attention shifts into these topics. Now, what makes this full moon intense and a bit difficult is that the ruler of the full moon, Pluto, is going to be in a tense aspect to the full moon, which means that for a lot of you Aries, you may have to deal with some power struggles, some control issues when it comes to your shared resources, when it comes to money that you share with others, with your spouse, with your family members, with other people, any kind of joint ventures. And it could be that either you want to be dominant about these topics, or it could be that the other person wants to. So you have some power struggles going on in this area. And then Pluto always wants to manifest itself. It either manifests itself by having you lose the control, or it manifests itself by having you win the control, to where you take your power back. And for a lot of you Aries, with the eclipse happening in your sign and all these planets transiting your sign, I believe that a lot of you Aries are actually claiming your power back. There is something very important that is going on for you, to where you are wanting to be in control of your life and to be in control of your shared resources, specifically with this transit. And it can be, again, shared resources, investments, finances, but also wanting to be in control of your thoughts, the way how you talk to yourself, the way how you think. You kind of want to fight those self-sabotaging patterns that you may have. And it's not an easy energy for sure. With Pluto being here, you may experience a lot of intense feelings and ways of thinking. However, it's going to help you understand where you're lacking in this department, in these things. Now, Pluto is squaring this full moon from your 11th house, and it could be that you may have some power struggles, specifically with your friends, your network, people who you are acquainted with. It could also be your group of friends. And so this full moon may expose some friends that are maybe a bit jealous about you. They don't really want the best for you. And so the full moon is really going to help you shed some light in that department. That is going to be not easy, with this being in the 8th house, but necessary to understand who are the people that really support you and want the best out of you. Now, for others of you, if you are in the social media industry, because the 11th house rules social media, you might receive some kind of feedback, some kind of information that really changes your perspective from within you. It changes the way how you think. It could trigger some insecurities you may have. But however, this kind of criticism you might receive, it just depends on how you respond to it. With Pluto, you can transform yourself, you can transform these thoughts, and also transform the environments that you are in, especially picking the right friends for you with Pluto already transiting your 11th house. I've talked about Pluto in the 11th house in another video for Pluto in Aquarius, but for you, a lot of you Aries, it could be that you have to undergo some situations to where your power is taken away through a group of friends or somebody, a friend, but then eventually with Pluto you learn how to take your power back, you become dominant, and you stand up for yourself. And for you Aries, that's pretty easy to do, to stand up for yourself, but at the same time you have a very pure heart in general, and you're very loyal also, so it could be a little disappointing and hurtful, with certain situations. But however, with this full moon in your 8th house, it could be that you may have some power struggles with your social circle, and is necessary for you to experience in order for you to transform when it comes to your friendships, group of friends, to choose the right people to hang out with, but also to make wise and important choices when it comes to your shared finances, your investments, adventures that you have with others, and also the way how you talk yourself and your self-sabotaging patterns. At the same time of this full moon, Venus is in your 1st house, coming out of the conjunction with Chiron. So for a lot of you Aries, you are coming out of some kind of healing, some kind of introspection you have done for yourself in the way how you feel, how you look. Maybe you have changed your closet completely, bought new clothes and removed old ones, but you have really been working on reinventing yourself and beautifying yourself with Venus transiting your 1st house. Now the ruler, your ruler, Mars, is going to be in the 12th house during this full moon. And what that means is that you are doing a lot of introspection, a lot of healing, maybe dealing with spirituality, trying to heal yourself from a lot of things, and also resting and just making yourself feel comfortably, especially after the intense energy of the eclipse in your sign. For others of you Aries, you may be uncovering things related to hidden enemies or to things and topics that were kind of hidden away from you for some time. And for others of you, you're just resting again and recovering, from the intense energy. But this full moon is definitely going to keep all of us on our toes, and also you Aries. However, as with every other transit, it's necessary for you, and especially related to Pluto, to be able to learn how to get your power back and be in control of your life and your finances. This is what I have for you Aries. If you resonated and liked this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Taurus, suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio prediction video. The full moon is happening on April 23rd at 19:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at 4 degrees and 18 minutes of Scorpio. And for you Tauruses, is going to be in your 7th house. And the 7th house deals with partnerships, collaborations, agreements, contracts, romantic partnerships and marriage, and also business partnerships. So for a lot of you Tauruses, you will have a serious, intense completion or ending when it comes to some kind of partnership. And for a lot of you Tauruses, it could be tied to the time when the nodes were in your sign and in Scorpio. So you are having some type of completion when it comes to some type of partnership that is going to feel intense. There might be some power struggles, some type of wanting to either be in control or to have somebody that wants to take control over you. And for you Taurus, this is happening in an angular house, so this is aspecting also your 4th house, is aspecting your 10th house where Pluto is sitting on, and also your identity and who you are as a person. So for a lot of you Tauruses, you may have this need to where you want to take the control back when it comes to relationship. You want to be dominant in a relationship. For others of you, it could be that you have to deal with an authority figure, somebody that has a lot of power to be able to take control over your career and what you are known into the world, because the 10th house where Pluto is sitting on is the house of the career, is the most public house of the natal chart. So you may have to deal with some power struggles with an authority figure. This full moon could really highlight misunderstandings that you may have had with this person, and it puts you in a position to where you have to have some kind of, not fight, we could also be fight, but have some kind of power struggle with that person that is going to really change the way how others view you, or transform the way how others view you and the way how you identify yourself, because this is triggering your first house. For others of you, it could be that some power struggle you have with a partner could really affect your home life, your family life, your properties also, because of the triggering of the 4th house. However, with this full moon, you may also be evaluating your career and partnerships. You may also reevaluate if your partner is actually supporting you in your career. Is he giving you enough so that you can move forward and be known as the person that you want to be known? For others of you, it could be the other way around. Is somebody restricting you to achieve your highest potential? Is somebody too jealous or controlling in a partnership to where they don't let you fly like a butterfly? So this full moon could really highlight those issues and make you understand for yourself what you really want in life. Do you want this partnership to continue or not? Do you want to have this career that you have right now or not? Do you want to continue in this business partnership or not? And for others of you, it could be that some type of agreement or contract really comes to your attention to where you think that it's binding you in some way. And so this full moon highlights those points to where you don't feel comfortable. And for a lot of you on Tauruses, you may really close a cycle from your past and past lives, because you have a stellium in Aries in your 12th house, and your ruler Venus is also in the 12th house during this full moon. So you may be dealing with old karma, past situations that you want to bring in completion. And for others of you, this full moon could really, this Mercury retrograde could have brought people back into your life from your past. And with Venus touching the Mercury retrograde points, it could also be that these are exes, these are people that really liked you and had feelings for you before. So you are reflecting on those things, but also I see a lot of your Tauruses resting and having a good sleep, but also very vivid dreams during this time. Mars is also in the 11th house. It's still in the 11th house during this full moon, so it's putting a lot of attention in your friends groups, and it's leaving that conjunction with Saturn at the time of this full moon, which means that for a lot of you Tauruses, you are very active in your social circles. But not only, the 11th house is people that just know us, acquaintances. So I feel like for a lot of you, you've put yourself out there, and if not, you have somehow been the attention in some type of circle or social group. And you have also set boundaries and stood up for yourself when it comes to how you are perceived in your groups of people, how other people know you, and also in your social media. You may have turned your public profile into private and set some kind of boundaries when it comes to how other people see you. But this is what I have for you, Tauruses. I think this full moon is going to be a bit intense. However, it's going to be important because it's activating Pluto, or Pluto is activating the full moon. You can look at it both ways, but I think this is going to be very important when it comes to your career, especially if you are undergoing massive changes when it comes to your career and how other people view you. Okay, Tauruses, if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to always give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Geminis, Gemini suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to the full moon in Scorpio video prediction. The full moon is happening on April 23rd at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you adjust it to your time zone. But it's happening at 4 degrees and 18 minutes in the sign of Scorpio. So for this full moon for you, Geminis, is happening in your 6th house, which deals with the day-to-day life, with your routines, and also your health. This full moon may highlight health issues for you, Geminis. Maybe there's something that you have to address when it comes to your health, your physical body, your diet, the way how you go about your day-to-day, your lifestyle, also your workout routines, and also pets. This is also the house of pets. For others of you Geminis, the 6th house also rules the day-to-day job, so you may have some important thing related to your work, to your job, to where it needs your full attention, and you might need to resolve something. Now, the thing about this full moon is that the ruler of the full moon, Pluto, is squaring it, and for you is from the 9th house. And the 9th house deals with spirituality, with legal matters, with foreign people, foreign lands, international travel. So for a lot of you Geminis, it may be that your day-to-day life is somehow disrupted or changed due to any issues that you may have with visas, if you are in an international place or in a foreign place, or if you need to travel internationally. Or it could be that your spiritual belief system is challenged somehow, maybe at your job, maybe in your day-to-day life as you're dealing with people. For others of you, it could be that you find out that maybe some type of belief system that was associated with your diet, the way how you eat, was wrong, or it was not benefiting you, and now you want to change that, or something happens to where you have to make necessary changes, and better said, you may be forced to make the necessary changes, because Pluto is a planet that asks for transformation, but a transformation that is not comfortable, and it gets you out of your comfort zone. So for a lot of you Geminis, you may be addressing health issues. You may be also doing some type of surgery, maybe in a foreign land, because the 9th house is the house of foreign lands. Maybe you have to deal with some legal issues related to that, or some immigration issues, paperwork that you have to do before you can do that surgery. For others of you, it could be that your day-to-day life could be somehow changed because of the visa situations that you may have, or you may have just some type of completion when it comes to paperwork, any legal matter that you may have that really benefits you in your day-to-day life and like sheds light into what you need to change in your daily life to be able to adjust to this transformative situation or thing that could be happening for you. Mercury, your ruler, is still retrograde at the time of this full moon, and it will be in your 11th house. So a lot of you Geminis have been dealing or working towards fixing your friendship circles and setting some type of boundaries when it comes to them. Others of you may be wanting to enter new social groups, or you could have old friends, old people, old situations coming back into your life with that Mercury retrograde. And Mercury is your ruler, so it could have really affected you, this Mercury retrograde. But at the time of this full moon, you are still going or wrapping up with these situations when it comes to the people that could have come back into your life. And if it's not people, maybe you have run into old pictures that you've wanted to post in your social media. And if not that, it could be that for some of you, you are revising your long-term goals and dreams that you've had before, and kind of going through them and seeing and reassessing if you want to go for those goals again, and kind of transform your life and your day-to-day life to adjust to those dreams or old dreams that you've always wanted to accomplish. This is kind of what I had for you Geminis. I really hope that this full moon brings blessings your way, and it's not too harsh, but it's definitely necessary, especially with the aspect with Pluto. Pluto is the planet that wants us to transform, and for you it's going to happen in your ninth house, and it's changing and transforming and challenging a lot of your belief systems with time, because it's too early to say, but with time it will have you meet people from different backgrounds, different countries, different places that are going to change the way how you think about life. It may even have you learn new languages and transform you a lot in those ninth house matters. So with this full moon, you may have something that's triggered related to those topics that is really setting you up for the transformation that Pluto is going to make in your ninth house. This is what I have for you, Geminis. If you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Cancers, Cancer Suns, Moons and Risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio video prediction. The full moon is happening on April 23rd at 7:50 p.m. in the sign of Scorpio at 4 degrees and 18 minutes. So if you have any planets or points close to that degree, you will most likely feel this energy a lot. So the full moon for you Cancers is happening in your fifth house, and the fifth house deals with children, entertainment, the way how we have fun, creativity, and artistic abilities. So for a lot of you Cancers, you may have something highlighted when it comes to your children and their lives. Maybe there is something that you really need to address with your children when it comes to your relationship with them, or something that's going on in their life to where you really need to help them. Now the thing with this full moon is that the ruler of the full moons, Pluto, is squaring this from your 8th house. So you may be dealing with your children when it comes to shared finances. Maybe you're not happy with some kind of purchase they've made or they want to make, or the way how they are dealing and managing your shared resources. For others of you, it could be tied to investments that you have made or you are making with your children, to where you have some kind of power struggles with them, to who you want to be in control and who should, and things like that. For others of you, it could be that you want to do something fun and entertaining. However, when you look at your finances, you think that maybe I cannot afford it. So you have some kind of control of some kind of restriction from your 8th house of shared resources when it comes to the way how you have fun and how you entertain. For others of you Cancers, it could be that you really want to pursue a creative ability and an artistic skill that you have, especially with this full moon highlighting this area and just pushing you to pursue these hobbies. However, you may have some kind of control or some type of person that is not allowing you to pursue these endeavors. And it could also be because of finances, or simply because control issues, because the 8th house is naturally the house of Scorpio. It's the house of transformation and control. So it could be that there's something that's not letting you complete this kind of creativity that you want, or it could be that you really need to transform the way how you think. And I think this is the most positive way to go about this transition for you Cancers. The 8th house deals with our mental health, self-sabotaging patterns, fears, weaknesses that we have in our mind that stop us from achieving what we want. And so this full moon could really ask you to transform the way how you think, the way how you go about yourself, the things that you want to pursue, your creativity, your artistic abilities. This full moon could really tell you to face the fears and self-sabotaging patterns that you have related to pursuing these things. And the 8th house is really the house that says, oh, you might be your own enemy when it comes to achieving of what you want. So Pluto in the 8th house is really having you transform that inner world of yourself, to where you change the way how you look at yourself, your world, the skills that you have, the drive and stamina that you also have. And so this full moon in the 5th house could really want to pursue creative endeavors, even have children. Maybe you want to have a child, but somebody else doesn't, or your partner basically doesn't, or the other way around, and you have some kind of restriction or some kind of dominance that you have to deal with when it comes to these topics. Now, you will feel this full moon a lot because the moon, just like in any other full moon, is involved. And for you Cancers, that's why you're known as a sensitive sign, because the moon goes into these important cycles and it affects you. So you may really be affected also in the way how you feel about yourself and how you identify with this full moon when it comes to your creative abilities and artistic things. Now, Venus and Mercury are transiting your 10th house at the time of this full moon in Aries. So you may have been reassessing how you want to be known in the world, also your status, if you want to be single or not, married or not. Or you may just go or have gone already on a trip, an international trip, or a trip to a foreign land with a partner maybe during this time, or it could be that you are going to do so at the time of this full moon. But this is what I have for you, Cancers. I really wish you the best during this full moon, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Leos, Leo suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio prediction video. The full moon is happening on April 23rd at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust it to your time zone, and it's happening at 4 degrees and 18 minutes in the sign of Scorpio. So this is happening in an angular house, and just like any other fixed sign, it's going to have an impact on you Leos, and you are going to feel it a lot. The full moon is specifically happening in your 4th house, and the 4th house deals with your family, your home life, your real estate property, your home environment, and your family members. You may have some kind of important thing to address in your home, in your family life, that is going to be a bit intense and could require some type of transformation when it comes to it. For others of you, it could be that you may have some power struggles in your family home, either with a family member or with a partner. And the reason for that is because Pluto, the ruler of this full moon, is squaring the full moon and is doing so from your 7th house. So some power struggles that you may have with a partner could really affect your family life. You could have some power struggles related to your real estate with a partner. For others of you, it could be power struggles just in your family dynamic. If you live with, other people in your home, such as your in-laws or your parents or sisters and brothers-in-law, then this full moon could really trigger some power struggles in your home life and family dynamics that are really tied to a partner, to your partner. For others of you, if you are not in a marriage or in a partnership, if you have some power struggles with a business partner, then your family life could be affected and changed, and it could also be transformed. Now, the 4th house also deals with our emotions, so a partner could really affect us emotionally, be it a romantic one or not. It could stress us out for a little bit with this transit, but at the same time, this transit is asking for transformation because Pluto rules transformation. So you may want to maybe address some things when it comes to your partnerships and really express and say, sometimes not in a nice way, that you are hurt or you feel controlled in certain issues and certain things. Now, for you Leos, this is happening in an angular house, and you may have some power struggles also in your career with authority figures. You may feel this full moon a lot when it comes to that area of your life, to where you have to deal with somebody, and again, power struggles with them, to where you want to advance in your career and even change your career. Or for others of you, it could be that you want to be recognized for something you have done in your work, in your job. For others of you, Leos, this full moon could really highlight the need of changing your status, going from single to in a relationship, or relationship to married, or the other way around, from married to divorced. But this would be like the extreme case scenario. This full moon is really highlighting little things that are making you understand where you have the control over things and where you don't, and where you need to have it. Now, by the time this full moon happens, we will just come out of that Jupiter and Uranus conjunction in your 10th house. And I wouldn't say we would come out, I would say we're still in it, because it's a very tight conjunction, so you are most likely to still feel the effects of it. So for a lot of you Leos, you may have some type of sudden event and shocking event related to your career, to the way how you're known into the world, to your status, that could cause some type of power struggles. You could even have people that are jealous about your success, or jealous of you, who you are, your marriage, even your family life. And so you may have to deal with somebody that maybe doesn't have the best interests for you. For others of you Leos, again, massive changes in your career department and your status and the way how you're known into the world. But this full moon could really ask you to take your power back when it comes to your career. Be in the driver's seat, take control of the direction of the life that you really want to have. I think it's also worth mentioning here that Mercury is still going retrograde in your 9th house during the time of this full moon, reassessing a lot of belief systems. It's making you think about spirituality, the way how you view the world. It's making you reconnect and connect with people from different backgrounds, from different walks of life. And for others of you, it could be having you reassess topics related to immigration paperwork, foreign travels, and also simply legal matters, anything that you might have going on. But yeah, for you Plutos, I see a lot of intense energy related to your home, related to your family members and partnerships and career, but also your identity, because this is happening in an angular house, so you will most likely feel it a lot. And also because the sun, your ruler, is involved just with any other full moon. That's shedding a lot of light in these areas of your life. But I wish you the best and the biggest blessings you can receive. But if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Virgos, Virgo suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio video prediction. The full moon is happening on April 23rd at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust it to your time zone, at 4 degrees and 18 minutes in the sign of Scorpio. So for a lot of you Virgos, you will have changes and transformation when it comes to the way how you communicate, because the full moon is happening in your 3rd house, and the 3rd house deals with communication, our thoughts, deals with our neighbors, short distance travel, younger siblings also, marketing, sales, publishing, writing. And if you are in any of these industries, then you might have to address something related to these topics, because this full moon is being squared by Pluto, and Pluto is in your 6th house at this time. Pluto is asking you to make some kind of daily changes, transformation, to transform the way how you go about your lifestyle, your day-to-day life, so that you can have an improved way of communication. For others of you, it could be that you have to have some type of intense communication with someone that really changes the way how you think and also transforms your day-to-day life. I feel like you will have some kind of restriction or some kind of control in your day-to-day life that is is there for you to face it somehow in order to make the necessary changes when it comes to the way how you think and how you communicate with others during this full moon. And Pluto will be in the 6th house. Pluto is the ruler of the full moon also. He rules Scorpio. And in your 6th house, it could be that you are communicating and addressing issues related to your health. It could be that some health issue could be restricting you in traveling, even in short distance travel, getting in your car. For others of you, it could be that you really need to address some health issue in order to communicate better and think more positively about yourself. But not only to express and transform the way how you think to where you become more positive, to even where you face some fears, some obstacles, which could be mental ones during this full moon. For others of you, it could be that you face some type of control issues with a co-worker. The 6th house also rules the day-to-day job, so you may have some intense situation at work to where you need to communicate with someone that really triggers you and has you face them, express what doesn't work well for you and what you want to change and to transform. And it could also be the other way around. If you are trying to control somebody else at your workplace, then they may express their their feelings and how they feel about it, or to where they will want you to change somehow, because Pluto wants you to transform this 6th house. It's going to be there for a long time, so it really wants you to change the way and transform the way how you go about your day-to-day life, how you go about your daily job, but also how you deal with your health. And this full moon is really highlighting the necessary changes that you want to make, but it's more importantly tied to communication, to the thought process, to writing, and if you are in industries such as sales, marketing, and so on, then you may need to make some changes in your day-to-day life or in your job environment in order to have some type of success when it comes to these topics. Now, at the time of this full moon, you have Jupiter and Uranus conjunction happening, and it was exact on, or it will be exact by the time I post this video. This is going to be in the future, but the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is exact on April 20, and on April 23rd, it's still a pretty tight conjunction, so you will most likely still feel the effects of it. And for you, Virgos, it's happening in your 9th house, so you may have had this sudden opportunity to travel abroad, to even move abroad, to even live abroad, or to complete some legal matters when it comes to you going somewhere abroad. And this could have caused some changes when it comes to your 6th house of day-to-day routine. Maybe some type of shock really caused you to have disruptions in your workplace or in your daily life, or it could have even caused jealousy at your workplace with co-workers that are really surprised by the opportunity that is coming to you. Now, for others of you, it could just be that your belief system is being challenged or is being drastically changed during that Jupiter and Uranus conjunction, to where you make some necessary changes to your daily routine and your daily life that could feel a bit restrictive in the beginning with Pluto, and you will have this need to control your day-to-day life, and so this full moon is really highlighting that need that you may have. At the time of this full moon, it's also worth mentioning that you still have Mercury, your ruler, in retrograde in your 8th house. You also have Venus here, Chiron, the North Node. So a lot of intensive energy in your 8th house topics related to shared resources, investments, finances, but also your self-sabotaging patterns, the way how you think about life, how you think about yourself, how you talk to yourself, your fears and insecurities. So you may have been revisiting these things related to your life. You may be revisiting the way how you talk to yourself and how you think. And this full moon really in the third house also is tied to thoughts. So I think it's you're doing a lot of inner work when it comes to your psychological world. But for others of you Virgos, it could be that you are revisiting your finances, talking about them, and it could be that you have to make some type of change when it comes to your health, that could trigger those shared finances, or the other way around, to where you use the shared finances to be able to transform something when it comes to your health, your day-to-day life, and your daily job. This is what I have for you Virgos for this full moon in Scorpio. I really hope you receive wonderful blessings, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Libras, Libra suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio video prediction. The full moon is happening on April 23rd at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust that to your time zone. And it's happening at 4 degrees and 18 minutes in the sign of Scorpio. I hope that you are doing great, Libras, especially after the intense eclipses we had in your sign and in your opposite sign. But this full moon is going to be also a bit intense. And the reason for that is because Pluto, the ruler of the full moon, is going to square the full moon. However, for you, this is happening in your second house. So you may have a lot of attention put in your personal income, the way how you make money, the way how you spend money. You may need to make some kind of expenditure that you did not anticipate. It could be about anything. And for others of you, it could be that you are reassessing and revaluing your self-worth. Now, the square that Pluto is making, it could indicate that you really want to spend money related to your creative abilities and artistic abilities, and especially because you are a very creative sign, Libras. So it could be that you want to spend money related to these things. However, there is some power struggle associated with this, and it could come from your children. Because the fifth house is the house of children. It could be that you feel restricted somehow to pursue your creative abilities, or to even make more money, to produce more income for yourself, but also to produce more money when it comes to increasing your shared resources, because the sun is going to be in your 8th house at the time of this full moon. For others of you Libras, it could be that some type of entertainment or something that you really like to do to have fun somehow controls your money. Maybe you are spending too much money on it. Maybe you need to make some type of expenditure, or it's really having you transform the way how you make money in order to afford this kind of entertainment and fun that you want to have. For others of you, again, it could be that you may need to spend money for your children to deal with something that is going on in their lives. It could be something unexpected, because full moons sometimes are unexpected. But you feel kind of controlled, and you may have some power struggles when it comes to it. Now, at the same time, Pluto wants us to transform. So the positive side of Scorpio and Pluto is the power to shed skins and transform over and over again. So there's always hope to turn any difficult aspect into something more positive, or at least to learn lessons from it. So it could be that this full moon is asking you to change the way how you entertain, to transform the way how you have fun. It could also be that it's asking you to change the way how you approach to your children, how you give them money, or how you take money from them. For others of you, it could be that this full moon, we're still obsessed with the eclipses, but this full moon is really highlighting the way how you are making or you are seeing yourself, your self-value, your self-confidence. If you have had a child recently, are you saying good things to yourself in front of the mirror? Are you letting yourself transform in a positive way after having children? And for others of you, who don't have children yet, are you still self-confident about yourself? Do you feel good in your own skin? Because the second house is the house of personal values and self-confidence also, and the fifth house is the house of children. But if you don't have anything dealing with your children, then this full moon could really highlight your self-confidence when it comes to expressing your creative abilities and artistic skills. Are you confident enough to go out there in the world and show how good you are at something? Because Pluto in the fifth house will want you to transform the way how you go about your creativity and your artistic abilities. And tied to the second house, it could be that it wants to change the way how you view yourself, your self-confidence, and your self-expressions when it comes to these things. Now, for others of you Libras, I think it's important to note that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is also happening close to this date. It's happening on April 20, but the full moon is going to be on April 23rd. So it's pretty close. We're still at a close conjunction. So the odds are that you are still feeling the effects of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction on the day of the full moon. And the conjunction for you Libras is in your 8th house. That deals with shared resources. So you may have some type of sudden win when it comes to your shared resources or your investments that somehow shakes up the world of your finances, because the full moon is in your 2nd house. And for others of you, it could be that something important and sudden happens when it comes to your fears and self-sabotaging patterns and your psychological mind that really changes the way how you want to make money. And so that's why you may have that tension created between the way how you make money and also your creative abilities or your children again. I think it's also worth mentioning that we have Mercury retrograde and Venus, your ruler, in your 7th house at the time of this full moon. So you might have dealt or still dealing with exes coming into your life, and you are putting a lot of attention on that or on them. For others of you, it could be that you are reassessing past contracts, collaborations, agreements with people in the past, and you are putting a lot of attention on it, especially with Venus, your ruler, being in your 7th house. But at the time of the full moon, you have multiple things being highlighted, but especially topics related to your personal finances and your self-worth. But this is what I have for you Libras for this full moon in Scorpio. I really wish you the best, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Scorpio, Scorpio suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio video prediction. The full moon is happening on April 23rd at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust it to your time zone. And it's happening at 4 degrees and 18 minutes in the sign of Scorpio. So if you have an ascendant, sun, or moon within 0 to 8 degrees or 9 degrees of Scorpio, you're going to feel this the most. However, all Scorpios are going to feel this full moon. So this is going to be a bit intensive for you Scorpios, but you know, nothing that you've never experienced before because you are an intense sign yourself, and because your ruler, the ruler of this full moon, Pluto, is squaring this this full moon. So you might have something intense that you have to deal with, and it could be specifically be power struggles coming from your family members in the way how you identify and how you want to be known for yourself in the world. It could be that some family member or some family situation is forcing you to not go to your fullest potential, but this full moon is really highlighting that version of you that you want to be and you want to become, and it's also highlighting what's holding you back. If it's an individual, a family circumstance, maybe different family members, even topics related also to your real estate, to where you somehow have something or somebody controlling the way how you look and also the way how you identify for yourself. Now this is happening at an angular house, so this is also triggering your career, your 10th house, but also your 7th house of partnerships. So for a lot of you Scorpios, it could also be that you may have power struggles coming from an authority figure. It could be an authority figure at work, but also in your family, but also in just your life in general. Somebody that has control over certain things when it comes to your life. And so this full moon is highlighting that kind of control issue that you may have to face. But the thing with Pluto, Scorpios, is that Pluto will always manifest itself. It's either going to manifest through taking your power back, or is going to manifest through being powerless. So what do you want with this full moon? Do you want to be in power and in control? I know it's not easy, but however, this full moon is really giving you the opportunity to at least understand where you need to take your power back, who you need to deal with in order to get the power back. And Pluto is transiting your 4th house. It's just the beginning now, and it's going to take some time to where you're going to learn and understand what you need to transform in your family home, family situation, and also your career, because it triggers your 10th house, in order to become that person that you want to be and you want to identify with. Now, this full moon is also triggering your 7th house, and you may have power struggles also coming from a partner. It could be that somebody is controlling them in some way, and that also affects you. Now, for others of you, Scorpios, you may have changes when it comes to your status and the way how you're known into the world. If you have a good reputation, it could be that somebody that's jealous really wants to control you in some way. If you don't have a good reputation, it could be that that reputation could be holding you back in one way or the other to achieve your true potential. So this full moon is really highlighting all of these topics. But the good thing about Pluto, and you know this best more than any other zodiac sign, the best thing about Pluto is transformation. So yes, you have to face fears, face these control issues, but you also have the opportunity to transform and change yourself. You can transform your identity, your family home, your career, your partnerships. This is happening in an angular house, and it's affecting you a lot, just like any fixed sign. But you have the opportunity to transform, and that's what Pluto wants, and you know that best. Now, at the time of this full moon, you also have that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in your 7th house, and the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is exact on April 20 Eastern Standard Time. But on April 23rd, we're still going to feel it, because it's still at a very close conjunction. And you may have some kind of disruption, something very sudden in your partnerships that could really cause these control issues. Maybe you're bringing somebody into your life, a partner, a romantic partner, and your mom, for example, does not like her. Or it could be that you bring somebody in and it just causes a lot of disruption and a lot of control issues in your family home, but also in the way how other people view you. For others of you, it could be that you through this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction have liberated yourself from somebody, and that may cause disruptions at home and control and power struggles when it comes to your real estate and properties. For others of you, Scorpios, this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction could have given you an amazing opportunity to create or start some type of agreement and collaboration, a great opportunity to create some type of partnership, business partnership, but that is somehow causing those, again, power struggles in the family life, and also your career. It could be that somebody else wanted what you will get, and so I think this full moon is reasonably intense, because that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction will cause drastic changes on everybody's lives, and that will have to reflect on some area of our lives for all of us. So this full moon does not surprise me that it's so intense, but it will be specific for you, Scorpios, because that conjunction is happening in your 7th house and the full moon in your 1st house. So important events going on for you. Another thing that I want to point out is that Mercury retrograde in your 6th house at the time of this full moon, and you also have Venus here, Chiron, at the North Node. So you are still reflecting on your job, if you are changing jobs or maybe going to projects and things that you have to readdress, things that you have to go back to and reassess different details. For others of you, you may be revisiting topics related to your health, to your physical body, to your diet, your workout, but also liberating yourself from addictions. And for others of you, Scorpios, you may need to work on changing your daily routines and somehow adjusting it to what fits or suits you best now with all these important transits happening at the same time. But this is what I have for you, Scorpios, for this full moon in your sign. I hope you receive massive blessings. Please let me know in the comments what your experience is. I always read them. And if you resonated with this video and you liked it, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Sagittarius, Sagittarius suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio astrology prediction. This full moon is happening on April 23rd at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, adjusted to your time zone, but it's happening at 4 degrees and 18 minutes in the sign of Scorpio. And for you, Sagittarius, it's happening in your 12th house. Now, the important thing about this full moon is that the ruler of the full moon, Pluto, is squaring it from your 3rd house of communication, thought processes, writing, publishing, sales, marketing, short distance travel, younger siblings, and so on. So for a lot of you Sagittariuses, you may have a sudden need to rest, to go maybe on a vacation, go to a foreign land. However, you have some kind of restriction or power struggle when it comes to achieving it, when it comes to going smoothly about it. It could be that you receive some type of communication that you find quite maybe controlling or demanding, related to your desire to either travel abroad or to your desire to pursue certain spiritual practices, routines, meditations, yoga, religion, prayers, attending churches and mosques, things like that. So there could be some type of communication that is controlling on one way or the other. For others of you, it could be that the younger sibling could be a bit controlling when it comes to you resting. Maybe they tell you, why are you resting? You need to work as much as I'm working, things like that. That will have you kind of face them and also confront them, maybe. For others of you, the 3rd house is the house of thoughts. So you may be asked to transform the way how you think, how you talk to yourself, in order to be able to rest, to just stay comfortable with doing nothing, to also be able to even travel abroad or to follow spiritual practices. For others of you, with Pluto transiting your 3rd house for a while now, you may be transforming and changing the way how you think. And Pluto here could be highlighting certain mental topics and things that you need to address. It could pop out fears in your mind that you need to grow from and face them and heal from. And with this full moon in your 12th house, it could be that these fears somehow pop up in you, to where you don't feel comfortable resting, even sleeping. Maybe you lose sleep. For others of you, it could be that this full moon highlights again an opportunity to travel, to go abroad, but at the same time, maybe something that you are doing in your day-to-day life, those short distance travels, is somehow blocking you or limiting you. That's the right word, limiting you to do those foreign travels that you want to do. For others of you, it could be that your busyness in your day-to-day life, you needing to just take your car and drive to the grocery store and drive your kids to school and, you know, do a lot of things at the same time, could really get you tired. And then this full moon highlights your need to rest, to sleep, to recover from your daily routines, because the full moon also triggers the sixth house, which is the house of your health, your day-to-day life, and also your job. So this full moon could really ask you to rest, sleep, and although in the day of the full moon you might not be able to sleep, it could be that afterwards, when this energy loosens up, then you will take those necessary steps to rest from your day-to-day life. At the time of this full moon, Sagittarius, we have that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. And the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction for you is happening in your sixth house. Now, the conjunction is happening exact on April 20. However, the effects are, of course, going to be felt still on April 23rd. So I feel like some kind of disruption when it comes to your daily routines could really cause the need to make necessary changes when it comes to you resting, going to foreign trips, going somewhere foreign, even profiting from foreign lands, foreign people, and also communicating with people in other countries. For others of you, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction could have had you do some kind of surgery even, because the sixth house is the house of health. Uranus rules technology. Jupiter expands whatever it touches. It also gives a blessing, so the odds are that this surgery could go well, of course depending on your personal chart. But if you've had a surgery or you're going to have a surgery, then this full moon is really highlighting the need for you to rest and recover from it. And somehow that's not being understood by people around you, your surroundings, because the third house is the people that are close to us, like in our community, people we talk to on a daily basis. And so you feel like there's some type of limitation there that you have to deal with, confront, to be able to achieve these things, you know, the resting part and all that. At the time of the full moon, we also have some heavy energy in the fifth house. We still have here Mercury retrograde. We have Venus, Chiron, and the North Node. And the fifth house is generally a positive house. Maybe you are reviewing topics related to your creative skills and abilities, artistic abilities also, but also children. Maybe you are healing or revisiting any kind of relationship with if you have with your children, or that you have with your children. And so this full moon has really had you also address these topics when it comes to having some type of understanding with your children. Now, Venus is also in the fifth house, so Venus could bring some pleasantness and good feelings when it comes to reassessing these topics. But I also have a Mercury retrograde video that goes into deep detail for the 12 zodiac signs, so make sure you check that. But I just want to tell you that this is the energy in the sky at the time of the full moon, because we may feel the energy of the full moon, but we also may feel the energy of these other things that are happening in our lives with Mercury retrograde and with that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that is so important and causing disruptions on your life, but also on everybody's on the planet. But this is what I have for you, Sagittarius, for this full moon in Scorpio. I really hope you receive wonderful blessings. And if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Capricorns, Capricorn suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio astrology prediction. The full moon is happening on April 23rd at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you adjust it to your time zone. But it's happening at 4 degrees and 18 minutes in the sign of Scorpio. And for you, it's happening in your 11th house. The thing about this full moon is that it's being squared by Pluto, and Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio and the ruler of the eclipse. Pluto is squaring this full moon from your second house. So the second and the 11th house are houses related to finances. They are financial houses. It could be that for a lot of you Capricorns, there is a long-term dream and goal that you want to achieve, but your finances could be restricting you from it or limiting you somehow from it, to where you feel controlled to be able to achieve it. For others of you, it could be that there's something within your circle of groups of friends that needs to be addressed, something very important, and that could really highlight the way how you view yourself, your self-confidence, your self-worth. Maybe you don't want to hang out with people that don't value you, to where you don't feel comfortable expressing yourself with. And so this full moon being squared by Pluto from your second house of self-worth and self-confidence could bring situations to you where you have to deal with people who are your friends, your acquaintances, people that simply know you, where you have to stand your ground, kind of face them in order to embrace yourself for who you are, but also teach somebody something when it comes to how you value yourself and how you see yourself. Now, for others of you, it could be that something in your group of friends and your circle triggers your self-confidence. And Pluto now transiting your second house is already starting to work towards your self-confidence, the way how you view yourself. I know for a lot of you Capricorns, you work so hard on yourself, on every aspect of your life. Okay, you're ruled by Saturn, and you are very hardworking. So that Pluto in the second house could bring some situations, especially in the beginning, some situations, some crises, to be able to give you the opportunity to embrace yourself, to transform the way how you view yourself, your self-confidence, how you feel, in order to come out of this transit empowered, strong, knowing yourself, embracing yourself, and even dominant when it comes to any kind of environment you're in, because as long as you have the self-confidence, you can also become very dominant. And this full moon could be highlighting situations in your friends, in your group of friends, in your social circles, also social media and masses, that are going to highlight what you need to improve when it comes to your self-confidence and self-worth. But going back to that financial side of things, this full moon could really give you the opportunity to understand how much money you need to make to be able to achieve a long-term goal that you have, how much cash or cash flow you have to bring in to be able to achieve that dream. And this full moon could make you understand that maybe you're not in the right track, or you need to make more money. You need to transform your resources to add more streams of income, to cut things that are not working for you, basically to transform. And how you do the transformation, of course, that is up to you. But this full moon could really highlight that need to transform your resources and personal finances to be able to achieve long-term goals and dreams. For others of you, if you've been wanting to enter networks and groups of people that are of a higher status, then this full moon could highlight your resources and finances to where you can or cannot enter that group of friends or network, and really have you transform and change the way how you go about your finances to be able to achieve so. Now, at the time of this full moon, we also have the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. The Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is exact on the 20th. However, we are definitely going to still feel the effects of this full moon on April 23rd. And for you, Capricorns, this is happening in your 5th house. And the 5th house may have you reflect on the way how you have fun, how you enjoy yourself, but at the same time, this is also the house of gambling, or the house by winning through luck. Now, for a lot of other astrologers, this is also the area or the house of the stock market. So maybe some kind of win that you may have with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction could cause some kind of disruption when it comes to your 2nd house and 11th house, to where you feel somehow restricted. And the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is generally a good transit, but it still depends on your personal chart. So in case you have some type of affliction, maybe the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction could have caused sudden losses when it comes to winning by luck, gambling, stock market, and all that. And so that could be causing some kind of restriction in your second house, in your income, and also in the dream and the goal that you want to achieve in the long run. For others of you, if that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction have caused some type of win through gambling or through taking a chance, winning the lottery or the stock market, then you may still understand that you still need to put some money in or keep bringing money in to achieve some kind of long-term goal. The fifth house is also the house of children, so it could be that you are maybe bringing or conceiving a child, or you're having a family member join you, and so this could be something that you have wanted in the long run with that 11th house of the house of wishes and long-term dreams. However, with the second house that is having Pluto there, you could have some type of transformation that you need to make in your income to be able to afford a new child or a new family member joining you. For others of you, this fifth house is also the house of creativity, artistic abilities. And so you may want to really pursue some creative ability, some creative pursuit, some artistic endeavor. However, you have to transform something again related to your finances, or even just your self-confidence to be able to pursue this thing, to be able to achieve some type of long-term goal that's associated with your 11th house, where the full moon is happening. So the full moon is really highlighting these things that you really need to transform and change in order to achieve what you want in the long run, or to transform and change the way how you approach to other people, your friends, your circles of friends, networks, acquaintances, people that know you, but also your social media. Now, one last thing that I want to mention is that intensive energy we still have in Aries, with Mercury retrograde at the time of this full moon. Venus is there, Chiron is there, North Node is there. So you are still reassessing things about your home life, your real estate. You're maybe still reassessing where you want to live, maybe changing cities, houses, countries. Or it could be that you are just remodeling your house, changing your home environment. For others of you, again, it could be that a family member or a baby is coming and you need to reassess certain things about your house when it comes to bringing somebody into your home. And for others of you, this is also the house of emotions. So you may also have been quite retrospective when it comes to your emotions and the way how you view life, how you view things, with that intensive energy in your fourth house. But this is what I have for you, Capricorns, for this full moon in Scorpio. I really hope you receive wonderful blessings and that this is somewhat light on you. But please let me know in the comments how you're feeling, what things are going on in your life. I always read them and I'm very interested actually to know them. So let me know. And if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to show some support, to like it, subscribe, hit the notification button, whichever works for you. But thank you. I'll see you on the next one. Hello, dear Aquarius, Aquarius suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio astrology prediction. The full moon is happening on April 23rd at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to adjust it to your time zone. And it's happening at 4 degrees and 18 minutes in the sign of Scorpio. For you, Aquarius, this is happening in your 10th house of career, public persona, how you're known into the world, and your public status. This is really affecting you, Aquarius, just like any other fixed sign, because it's happening at an angular house. Now, the other thing that's important about this full moon is that Pluto, the ruler of the full moon, is squaring this aspect, which causes some kind of intensity, and specifically with Pluto, maybe power controls, power struggles. So for a lot of you, Aquarius, you may have to deal with some power struggles coming from an authority figure, because the 10th house is the house of authority figures also. For others of you, it could be that you may have some power struggles when it comes to your career and work environment. Maybe you have to deal with somebody that's in power and you kind of have to confront them in one way or the other. And that's because Pluto is in your first house. So it could be that the initiator are you, or it could also be that you just really have to deal with this person or situation that is somehow restricting you into achieving your highest potential and transforming yourself. Now, with Pluto transiting your first house, for a lot of you Aquariuses, you've already worked on transforming yourself. Maybe you have to face inner demons, things about you that really change the way how you want to be seen in the world, but also how you identify with yourself. So Pluto has already been working on that. This is just the beginning, but it has already been working on that. And this full moon is highlighting things, people, and situations you need to confront and face in order to achieve your highest potential. Now, if these other people are going to be more powerful or you are going to be more powerful, that depends on your personal chart and your circumstance. But this full moon really highlights a need for change in your career, something going on in your career and in your public persona that you really need to address and to transform. Now, as I mentioned, this is happening at an angular house, so it's also triggering your 4th house and 7th house. And you may also have power struggles going on in your home, in your family life, your parents, just your home life in general. It could be that you also have some power struggles when it comes to some real estate and property also that you have to deal during this full moon. Something happens to where you need to address and put your attention into these things. It could also be that you have these power struggles with a partner, or a partner has them in their lives and it somehow also affects you and it puts you under intensity and stress. Now, the thing with Pluto is that Pluto wants us to be transformed, okay? And you are going to feel this a lot with Pluto going through your 1st house. But with this energy, we can really understand what things do we need to improve, what fears do we need to confront, what people do we need to be aware of that are somehow blocking our perspective, blocking the way how we go about in our career, in our work environment. How can we fix that in order to achieve our potential and fully express ourselves when it comes to our career and how we're known to the world? And this full moon could really highlight that for you Aquariuses. Now, it's also important to mention that 3 days before this full moon, we had that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which is very intense for everybody in the world. But on April 23rd, we're still going to feel that energy because it's still at a very close conjunction. And so for you Aquariuses, that's happening in your 4th house. So massive changes and transformation, especially to your family house or to your family situation, to your home environment, real estate properties. You may be expanding, you may be adding more real estate, buying more property, or you may just have a family member join you in your house to where it somehow puts a spotlight in the way how other people view you. And I said in a few other signs that I feel like this full moon makes sense to be a bit intense because we've had this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction causing something very disruptive that is going to bring sudden changes for all of us. And so this moon brings that intensity or puts into attention things that could be stopping us from achieving something big, something shocking, something massive that really changes our lives forever with a Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. And so for you, that's happening in your 4th house. And it could be that something that happens in your family home or dealing with a family member could change the way how other people view you and how you view yourself. You can also understand things about yourself, maybe fears and self-sabotaging patterns that could keep you away from achieving your highest potential when it comes to your career and also when it comes to your family life, but also your partnerships, with this happening, at an angular house. Big changes with that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, but also having to face fears and insecurities and people and situations that we need to grow from, that we need to transform them to be able to achieve the highest potential for this full moon. Now, this full moon could bring things into completion also, could close a cycle, or it could just put a lot of light things that really need to be transformed and changed. Another important thing during this full moon is that we still have that heavy energy, intense energy in Aries. We have that Mercury retrograde still going on, and we also had the eclipse. We also have Venus here, Chiron, the North Node. For you, it's in the third house, so it's all about communication. Maybe you're going back and forth in communications with anyone, because the third house, communication with just everybody in our lives. And so you may be going back and forth when it comes to that, when it comes to writing about things. Also, you may be reflecting on how you think, how you talk to yourself. The third house is also the house of our thoughts. And especially with Pluto in your first house, creating this tense energy with a full moon in your 10th, it could be that you are thinking and rethinking with a third house activation about how you talk to yourself in order to transform your identity, who you are as a person, with Pluto in the first house, to be able to change your status, to change your career, to change how people view you and how you want to be known into the world. This intensive energy in the third house could also be related to writing, publishing, sales, short distance travel, and I think, yeah, those things. If you are in those industries, maybe you have been reviewing things associated with them, to where you're reflecting on them, changing things up, changing details, and really changing things up to where you transform them somehow with this important energy, Scorpio and Pluto being activated. But this is what I have for you, Aquarius, for this full moon in Scorpio. Please let me know in the comments how this full moon is going for you and how you are doing with things in general. We have intensive, amazing energies going on. We had that eclipse. We have the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. I bet a lot of things are happening in your life. And if not, that's still good news. No news is sometimes good news. But please let me know in the comments. I always read them. And if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Pisces. Pisces suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio astrology prediction. The full moon in Scorpio is happening on April 23rd at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you adjust it to your time zone. But this full moon is happening in the sign of Scorpio, a fellow water sign, at 4 degrees and 18 minutes. And for you, it's happening in your 9th house. Now, this full moon is in a good aspect to your sign. However, the thing about it is that it's being squared by its ruler, which is Pluto. And Pluto for you is sitting in your 12th house. So for a lot of you Pisces, you may have a lot of belief system being challenged with this full moon in your 9th house. You may be reassessing topics related to religion, spirituality, the way how you pray, your attendance to church, mosque, any kind of spiritual practice that you may have. But this full moon is really highlighting something that needs to be transformed when it comes to your belief system. And that's because the 12th house also rules spirituality and religion. So you have some type of transformation you need to make in the way how you view these topics and your perspective about them. Others of you may be really working on transforming the way how you think, your inner world, your psychological mind, with this Pluto transiting in your 12th house already. And then with the full moon in the 9th house, you may have something that happens to where you understand what things you need to change about the way how you think and the way how you talk to yourself, how you believe in the universe, in the law of attraction, in God, in anything that you believe in, to be able to change the perspective on how you view things and how you understand life in general. Now, for others of you, it could be that this full moon highlights the need to address topics related to foreign lands, legal matters, international travel paperwork, international residency paperwork, especially again with that 12th house activation of foreign lands and 9th house activation of international travel and legal matters. It could be that for a lot of you Pisces, there's some type of completion even with a full moon associated with paperwork and legal matters. that could be happening at this time. And Pluto really wants to transform something about your spirituality, other dimensions, the way how you rest, also your dreams, and just your psychological mind, also how you deal with isolation, also with that transit to the 12th house. And this is just the beginning of this long transit that is doing in your 12th house. But for you, a lot of you Pisces, you may change and transform the way how you view these things in order to change your belief system with this 9th house activation. Now, the 9th house also rules spiritual gurus, mentors, people that give us advice about life, about certain topics and belief systems that we have. So it could be that you want to stay in contact, or you want to know a spiritual guru, like somebody, a mentor, but something about your inner world controls you, and maybe you don't address the isolation topics quite well, for example, with that Pluto transiting in the 12th house. And so this full moon is highlighting the need to make the necessary changes in your subconscious mind, in the way how you meditate, do yoga, follow these spiritual practices in order to achieve some kind of revelation when it comes to your belief system and spirituality. And if you are pursuing higher education, this is also the house of higher institutions, higher educations. This full moon could give you the opportunity to be accepted at university. However, it could be associated with foreign lands, foreign travels. So now you have to work your way with getting visas and getting this paperwork ready in order for you to pursue this kind of education. For others of you, it could just be that the full moon either highlights the need to go to a higher education or has you be accepted, because the full moon is a completion. So you can complete the process to attend a school, or you might be even accepted. And now with Pluto in your 12th house, it could be that you might feel a bit isolated from other people when it comes to this education. Or it could be that something about yourself and the law of attraction could be putting fears in your mind when it comes to pursuing this, when it comes to achieving this kind of dream that you may have for a higher education. So the good thing about the Pluto and the Scorpio energy is that it gives you the power to transform. Fear is the shadow side of this energy. Transformation is the positive side. So with this energy, you have the power to transform your psychological mind, your inner world, and in order to be able to achieve the 9th house topics when it comes to your spirituality, higher education, and research work you might be doing, international travels, and legal matters also. Now, 3 days before of this full moon, we had the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. And just like with every other sign, this conjunction could have also brought changes to your life. This video will be posted way ahead of that conjunction. So you may have big changes made to your life. And for you, Pisces is going to be in your 3rd house of communication, short distance travel, your thought process also. So there could be something happening in your 3rd house that could really change or have you deal with some 9th house topics and 12th house topics. And I said it for the other signs also, that I am not surprised to have a full moon that's a bit more intense, because we have this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that's causing drastic changes in our lives. So sometimes the way how we deal with those is through transformation, drastic movements and changes we have to make to be able to face fears and embrace uncertainty and new things happening for us. So this Jupiter and Uranus conjunction in your 3rd house could have made you buy a new car, could have made you make some type of sudden communication or receive some kind of communication that is just surprising and shocking, however benefits you, generally speaking, because it still depends on your personal chart. or it could be that you have some type of download, some type of understanding in your thought process that really changes your perspective and your belief systems. And now with this activation, strong activation of the 3rd house and 9th house and 12th house, which deals about our thought process, our belief systems, our spirituality, the way how we view the world, the universe, the energies. This Jupiter-Uranus conjunction could have brought something that just disrupts your world, your understanding about things, and that you have to make necessary changes because now the full moon puts the spotlight in your belief systems, in what you need to change to be able to receive and perceive that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Because it's very interesting how the full moon is happening at the opposite sign of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, as if it's like, yes, you have something going on in your 3rd house, but it's also going to cause changes in your 9th house. So very strong activation of this axis for you, Pisces. Now, an important thing to mention is that we still have that Mercury retrograde in your 2nd house that could have slowed down your money-making abilities and your stream of income. And you also have Venus in this house, Chiron, the North Node also. So you may have been reflecting and finding ways on how to make money. It could be that something was cut off when it comes to stream of income, or a new stream of income could come in. However, with this Mercury retrograde, it could be that you are reflecting a lot, investigating, quote unquote, and thinking on how to make more income and increase your sources of income. So you still have this energy going on at the time of this full moon. A lot of attention put into your finances. However, with that full moon activation in the 9th house, I think a lot of you Pisces are going to change your belief systems, the way how you think about life, people, situations, and also, higher education, international travels, legal matters. A lot of attention is going to put into that, but you will also have to face some fears and uncertainties when it comes to achieving these things that the full moon wants to complete. This is what I have for you, Pisces. Please remember to show some support. Remember to give it a like or to subscribe if you resonated with this video. Please also let me know in the comments what your situation is and how things are going for you, because we've had massive energies going on, an eclipse in your 2nd house, Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in your 3rd house, and I really want to know how things are going for you, because I think a lot of you are going to have massive changes. Let me know in the comments. I always read them, but other than that, I'll see you in the next video.